Hi, Bother Brigade. Here's what's bothering me today. Doug Ford recently made the big announcement that Ontario's ending mask mandates on March 21st. And a lot of schools and school boards specifically have been saying, we feel like maybe that's a bad idea. So we're going to still encourage mask wearing for at least a little while, after March break as people are going away, traveling. So in the interest of safety, we're still going to hold off a bit. And the premier was so incensed at people challenging his authority that he decided to say, rather audaciously, I must add, that these schools need to not do this because they aren't medical experts. Neither the fuck are you, Doug. And then on top of that, Doug Ford was talking about how the chief medical officer of health has actually done his due diligence, except he hasn't, because he mentioned before when this whole thing was starting that we can basically take the actual test numbers and multiply them by 10. So if we're seeing, let's say, I think the last update was like 2,200 cases. It's actually more like 22,000 cases. So again, because of other stuff that we've talked about before, how they basically made it nearly impossible for anyone to get a PCR test because we've basically given up on PCR testing and contact tracing. So we don't actually know the spread and what's happening. So no, he hasn't done his due diligence because they've deliberately hobbled the data set that they can rely on to effectively informed decisions. Also, the Ontario Science Table was not consulted in this, which, as people have been pointing out, why the fuck even have a science table if you're not going to involve them? Because those are the actual experts there. So the audacity of Premier Ford saying, oh, these schools shouldn't do that because they're not medical experts. Neither are you. All your decisions lately have not been made with any kind of medical expert input. A, because you aren't actually consulting them and they're finding out later, wait, he said and did this, we weren't consulted about it. And the other thing is that you're doing this stuff because of business interests and because you really want to win that election in a few months, right? So we don't have reliable data sets, the actual experts aren't being consulted, and the premier has the audacity to tell school boards trying to keep children and their own staff safe. He has the audacity to say that they aren't the experts in the room, while he steadfastly refuses to listen to or consult experts or give them the tools to make informed decisions in the first goddamn place. Not like he'd listen to them anyway, as we've seen time and time again in this godforsaken province. It is so infuriating to see this man say something like this with all seriousness. Just be fucking honest with us, Dougie. Just say what you're really wanting here. You want to win the election so you can continue to have power and benefit your friends in the various different places that you've put them in and how they continue to support you, you absolute corrupt fucking crook. This is what you actually want, but you are too much of a goddamn coward to say that, because then maybe people wouldn't vote for you. And so you're doing things that you are hoping will play well with your base. And let's be real, it's going to play well with your base so that you can continue to rob this province and let thousands of more Ontarians die under your watch, so long as it's profitable for you and your friends. Never mind the millions of people you are supposed to represent and govern, regardless of your personal goddamn feelings on it. And so the fact that you have any kind of audacity to say that, we should listen to the experts while you've made it impossible for them to do their job and you yourself haven't listened to them, that absolutely sticks in my craw. And if you and others can't tell, it's definitely what's bothering me today.